he does have ties to Muslim extremists. I don't know.
Jerusalem Al-Quds, one of the most revered cities in the world, at a flashpoint where conflict between the Palestinians and the Israeli regime has become a fixture of the past 7 decades. This year, as the holy month of Ramadan drew to a close and the Palestinians were getting prepared for Eid al-Fitr, or the festival of breaking the fast, a bitter episode of tensions between the two sides began to unfold. The current violence in the occupied territories began with a series of conflicts in Jerusalem Al-Quds. Israeli police blocked off the Damascus Gate, a popular gathering place for Arabs during Ramadan, sparking protests. But what inflamed tensions was an attempt by Israeli settlers to evict longtime Arab residents of Sheikh Jarrah, an Arab neighborhood of East Jerusalem Al-Quds.
My father took the house from the Jordanian. In 1956, there is agreement between Jordanian and UNRWA. Jordanian give the land, and the UNRWA built 28 for 28 refugee family. We from that year, 1956, live here until now.
We're coming here to protest because of the 3 families that are being ethnically cleansed from their neighborhood. Their houses are being taken away and given to settlers. We're just here to show support for these families.
Palestinian leaders say the efforts to expel families from their homes is nothing less than ethnic cleansing, aimed at Judaizing the holy city.
إن القدس خط أحمر. إن القدس هي قلب فلسطين وروحها. لا سلام ولا استقرار إلا بتحريرها الكامل من الاحتلال. أوجه كلمتي بالذات لأمريكا وإسرائيل. لقد طفح الكيل. ارحلوا عنا. حلوا عن صدورنا. حلوا عن صدورنا. حلوا عن صدورنا فسنبقى شوكة في عيونكم. لن نغادر وطننا. لن نغادر بلادنا. انهوا احتلالكم لبلادنا اليوم وليس غدا. لن نرتكب جريمة 48 ولا جريمة 67. الشيخ جراح لن يرحل، لن يستكين، ولن يهدأ، ولن يسكت.
For decades, the Israeli regime has pursued policies aimed at increasing the presence of settlers in East Jerusalem Al-Quds and restricting the expansion of the Palestinian community in the city, which is supposed to be the future capital of the Palestinian state. And that's not what the Palestinians like to see.
البرنامج هو احتلال القدس جميعها وجعلها كلياتها مدينة نامية اللي هي بتخلى من وجود العرب بالقدس، وهيك بنفع يحتلوا العاصمة فلسطين وبيقدروا يحصلوا على كل بيوت زي ما عملوا بالاحتلال وبالنكبة وبال 48 وبال 67.
Tensions culminated in a violent Israeli police raid on the Al-Aqsa Mosque. Israeli forces stormed the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound on May 10th for a 3rd consecutive day, firing rubber-coated steel bullets, stun grenades and tear gas at Palestinian worshippers inside Islam's 3rd holiest site.
إلا عم بضربوا قنابل على المسلمين. هذا كله عشان يفضوا الأقصى. هذا كله عشان يوم الأحد ويوم الاثنين.
أننا جاهزون داعمون مساندون لكم أيها الإخوة والأخوات في القدس، فلقد رفعتم رؤوسنا ونحن هنا نفخر بكم، ولذلك لن نترككم وحدكم في مواجهة المحتل، ولن نترككم وحدكم في مواجهة التنسيق الأمني.
Hamas's retaliatory strikes came shortly after a 13-story residential block in the Gaza Strip was hit by an Israeli air raid. The resistance movement fired 130 rockets at Tel Aviv. In reaction to what itself was a retaliatory attack, the Israeli regime staged massive airstrikes targeting civilians in the besieged Gaza Strip.
كلنا مصدومين يعني شيء مش طبيعي محلاتنا تدمرت تكسرت شققنا فوق تكسرت محلات جيراننا يعني شبه المنطقة هذه كلها دمار كامل الجيش الإسرائيلي ما بفرق بين مدني وعسكري ما بفرق بين مواطن ولاجئ بالنسبة له احنا كلنا بنك أهداف يعني بيوتنا أولادنا أموالنا كلها تحت القصف.
Hamas says it is ready for any scenario, threatening Tel Aviv that more attacks if it keeps up its aggression.
إذا بدهم يصعدوا المقاومة جاهزة، بدهم يوقفوا المقاومة جاهزة، بدهم يرفعوا يدهم عن القدس المقاومة جاهزة. هذه رسالة أوصلناها لجميع الأطراف ولكل من يعنيه الأمر.
The Israeli military has been under fire over its crimes against Palestinians, especially those residing in Gaza, which has already been under a crippling Israeli siege.
I'm here in solidarity with the people of Palestine, who are obviously under brutal subjugation from the occupation and the pointless acts of terrorism perpetrated by
Israelis. They are going above and beyond, harassing Palestinians. So this gathering today among Palestinian and solidarity people from all different groups of lives, you know, Hispanic, Latino, blacks, Chinese, everybody here, Arab, Muslims, in demonstration and in support of the Palestinian. The Palestinian is no longer alone by themselves.
I am here joining this pro-Palestinian protest because we condemn all atrocities which is being committed by the state of Israel towards the Palestinian people.
The tensions have caused alarm across the world, with leaders weighing in on the deadly attack. The Israeli army has launched hundreds of airstrikes on the Gaza Strip in recent days, while Palestinians have launched more than 1,000 rockets. Meanwhile, the international community's meaningful inaction has emboldened Tel Aviv to continue with its most heinous crimes in Palestine.
وما شاهدناه يوم أمس في اجتماع مجلس الأمن حول الوضع في القدس لأكبر دليل على هذا الانحياز الأعمى للإدارات الأمريكية التي تختبئ وراء الادعاء بحق إسرائيل في الدفاع عن النفس على حساب حقوق الشعب الفلسطيني متجاهلة ارتكاب إسرائيل لجرائمها المستمرة والتي ترتقي إلى مستوى جرائم حرب وجرائم ضد الإنسانية.
Now Sheikh Jarrah has become the emblem of resistance for the Palestinians against the encroaching enemy. They believe any step back might cost them their homeland altogether.
إن أخذوا عدة دور هان طريقة غير قانونية وبدعوا إن هاي الدور إلهم، وإذا إحنا ما وقفناش مع هاي الفئة من الناس راح يلف هذا الإشي على داري وعلى داره وعلى داره وعلى كل فلسطيني عايش هان.
What started out as protests against forced expulsions in Sheikh Jarrah have turned into an Israeli crackdown that has engulfed much of occupied East Jerusalem, including holy sites like the Al-Aqsa Mosque. The battle over Sheikh Jarrah, which has now spilled over into the rest of the occupied territories, is the battle over the future of the Palestinians in Palestine. They know that and are prepared to fight to the death if they have to.